Welcome back everyone to BSG Annual 2021 at home. I'm going to be your host Leo Keegan for the next couple runs, but now we have KillerChair and escheria. So take it away.
Hello. Apologies if I mute myself every so often. I got a quick button for that, luckily, because my neighbors just started drilling again. Beautiful. Anyway, hi, I'm KillerChair. Ash is right over there. Should be. This is my final run for the event. You've seen and heard me a lot, but I hope you're not tired of me just yet. Yeah, we got this beautiful cat game, Meowtroid. And yeah, do we need to explain anything before going into it, or should we just get ready?
So whenever you guys are ready, I think.
Let's just hop into it.
Alright, cool. Then, give us a countdown, friendly host.
Sure thing. So get ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright. So, welcome to Gato Roboto. We just crash landed on a space station of sorts, sciencey thing. And we are a cute little cat, which is fantastic. For now, we have jumping and meowing as our important buttons, which is fantastic. And over here, we're gonna find ourselves a mech suit. So this is where the game says, look, we're gonna have a beautiful, beautiful time being a cat in a robot suit, and we're just gonna explore, see what happened to this space station, and save our scientist owner who's stuck in the ship. So I personally take this safety health pickup at the beginning. I believe Ash does not.
Yeah, I take it a little bit later.
Gotcha. That health pickup is useful mostly because it's the closest one alongside the path that we take, and there's a few quite difficult fights that you kind of want to make sure you get it.
Oh boy.
Now, I myself just go right into this little forced fight while I believe Ash tries to skip it by doing the small neck glitch. I don't take it, because if it takes me too long to set up the glitch, then I'd much rather just fight the monsters. But if you can do it relatively quickly, you tend to save quite a few seconds on that fight in that room.
Not having the luck today.
And over here, we're gonna go get ourselves the first pickup of the game, the missiles. The game expects you to go back to the right here and in onto that station to get your mech suit back. That's slow. We just take a 180 turn and go back into the swimming segment. Mash the jump button a whole bunch to swim up faster. That's basically how this little segment goes. Otherwise you have to break a whole bunch of blocks like these over here. And this is where I'll be trying the small mech glitch. It is a frame perfect trick, but it saves so much time that it is worth just keeping trying. Especially on the later segment where it skips basically an entire zone. I'm also having trouble setting it up. Nope. There we go. So you saw us go invisible for a moment, which is a weird side effect to doing that small mech glitch in that room. But basically, I skipped a boss there. Bosses don't spawn in this glitched state. What essentially happens is that we're now smaller than we're supposed to be. We retain the cat-sized hitbox while in mech form, which somehow makes the game think, hey, you're in cat form, certain forced fights shouldn't be spawning. So we end up skipping a whole bunch of content with just this one glitch. Now we've got our friendly little frog here that you just jump over. And we're going to be running past the pod, past the ship we came in on, into the hub area. And here we are. So, hub area, there's 3 main areas you go through to pick up power-ups and fix the space station before we get to go to the final areas. So the first one we're going to be going into is the aqueducts, where we will find the double jump, and that's basically it. We fix a whole bunch of flooding. And now I'm going to be setting up this little glitch, which we call the water drop or mech drop, or however you wanted to call it, something like that. And we're now underwater in the mech, which we're not supposed to be. Being in this underwater area, in places where you're not supposed to be, makes us sort of flip the order of certain treadmills around to deflood the place. And that makes us just skip a whole bunch of things, pick up the double jump way earlier than we're supposed to, and skip a lot of the segments here. Now this little part I kind of want to focus a little, because this is one spot that I tend to mess up. There we go, got through it just fine. While in cat state, everything one-shots you, which, needless to say, is a big problem. See.
Yeah. We have time for a quick donation?
Sure.
Brilliant. So, Zonorus, he's donated a €5 donation. Says, hey, look at these two absolute cuties. Excuse me. Good luck on the race, you two. And that's going towards Mind. And to anyone else who's looking to donate, just a little reminder that there are prizes that you can get as well for donating some money. So definitely recommend looking towards donating if you haven't already.
Alright. So over here we get the double jump. This double jump is really useful for a variety of reasons. It makes you, of course, jump higher, but it also does a lot of momentum-y things, which you can then... Nope, missed the jump there. Which you can then utilize with rockets to propel yourself forwards, backwards, all kinds of things. Speaking of which, the rockets you can use to propel yourself downwards as well when falling, which is a very nice small little time save. So I'm heading towards the actual first treadmill that we're supposed to be triggering now, with a few water drops. There's 2 methods of doing water or mech drops. One is by turning around and pressing the eject button at the right time. The other is by shooting a missile, which pushes you backwards a little bit, and then pressing the eject button along with it. I tend to use a combination of both, since you're gonna have to turn around anyway. So I tried to do one turnaround drop and then into missile drops.
I only do the missile one.
Alright. A little jumping segment. Fun fact about this race, last year me and Ash also did a Gato race, and we both ended up PBing, which was a very fun little outcome there. Not gonna lie, I'm not expecting that to happen again, at least on my part. I've been playing alright recently, but none of my runs have really been incredibly solid lately. So at least I hope that our run is gonna be fun and entertaining enough on that part.
I'm just hoping to not soft lock.
Yeah, there's a few moments in the game where you can soft lock the game or even hard crash the game at a certain near the end boss fight. That is if we miscount. More on that later. So we're coming up on a little segment that requires a few very precise rocket jumping moments.
Yeah, the thing with rocket jumping, if you do it like along the ceiling, is if you're in a small mech state, that gives you an even bigger speed boost. So I might be doing some more small mech collection. I don't know if you do that before the last treadmill, but I do that also because of the backup here, because the jump to one of the jumps is quite quite finicky. It's been pretty finicky for me lately.
Mm-hmm. So you saw me shoot a thing at the ceiling for a moment, and that didn't move at all, and it suddenly exploded. In small mech state, those mini bosses, because they are mini bosses, they somehow just don't move, but they still just exist there. So going small mech and then blowing it up is a very nice, safe, and quick way of doing it. It's a really annoying fight. Later on, there's gonna be a segment where there's two of them in the same room, and there we go. And doing that just makes the entire room trivial, which is fantastic. So here you saw a few ceiling boosts. So missile boosting is a big thing in this run. There's a lot of moments where you can just squeeze in a missile after a double jump. Or just when double jumping against the ceiling and that sort of stuff. Not getting this jump here, right? And that will be the aqueducts. A pretty technical area. Fair amount of things happening in there. And we're on to the heater zone, which is a little bit of a scary zone, mostly because we're going to carry this small mech state through basically the entire stage, and then the next stage. It's a pretty important small mech, because you're not allowed to exit the mech here, because it's too hot for a mere kitty to just walk around in the heat. So the game says you gotta be in your mech the entire way through. So, of course, being able to squeeze through areas you're not supposed to when cat-sized saves a lot of time. We're just gonna skip half the area, and we're gonna enter the final part through the exit.
Yeah, we're not even fighting any of the bosses in here, basically.
Yeah, there's two mini-bosses, I believe.
The two Boiler Brothers.
Yeah, they're very fun boss fights, but they take long. So yeah, that little hole I squeezed through just there, that is what skips half the zone. And I'm not getting a good jump through this area. It's a little bit of a tricky, messy room for me, but as long as I survive it and get through it reasonably fast,
The big
that's
lava room?
what we need. Yeah.
Oh.
So this room is a forced fight that we can't skip. Actually, I have no idea why this room still spawns enemies, but no. This one we skip a couple enemies and into the back entrance, where we will find the coolant. The coolant allows us to shoot 3 missiles before overheating our rocket launcher, which is very useful. Nope, that missed. Ah, dang. This room is a little bit of a fiddly thing, where you have to blow up the tanks. So we basically beat the zone through the exit, and we're gonna leave through the exit.
We have time for a donation?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Brilliant. So we got a 25 € donation from Anonymous, with just a comment saying, meow. So thank you very much, Anonymous. Really appreciate it.
Alright. And now we have the dash, which kind of makes rocket boosting along ceilings and in the air less useful, which is quite comfortable. You can just sort of, you know, bash the button a bunch and go forward fast. And we're going to be going into an area that if you do not use the small mech glitch, I like to refer to it as Meowtal Gear Solid. It's a sneaking segment. But since we do have the small mech glitch, what we do is we just take the exit into the boss of the zone and then leave.
Well,
Cheers.
it is such a short segment compared to what it's done, how it's done in vanilla.
Yeah. It's quite tricky as well. So this is a room where the boss is. You're not even supposed to have a mech here, you're supposed to use the cannons on the side. But we have a mech, so we'll just blow the boss up without much effort. And here we go, that's the zone ending thing. We turned on the ventilation. We now have fresh air. And that's it for the zone.
Whew. Okay.
Getting out of here is a little fiddly. And that's it. So, now there's a segment where we go back to the ship, because something's happening there. So we need to pick something up in there. Our owner has been something happens and we're like, oh god, let's check that out for a moment. There's a little trick that you can do there that I haven't quite learned yet, where you skip pressing that button. It's a pretty precise jump, so I just take that little button with the text.
You're gonna
and
see it on my side.
not do that yet. Yeah.
Also, to be honest, I don't find it to be as precise. It just requires the jump to be as high up as possible, and yeah, then you just ceiling boost. Is this AC?
So that's a little back and forth thing. Go. And we're in the first gauntlet segment after this. Pressing the button again, and down we go. So, gauntlet segment. This area is a lot of just being as fast and as good as possible to just go through this area, take as little damage as possible, blow up things in your way. So I think if the host has anything to say, now might be a good time.
Yeah, sure thing. It's just to remind everyone that we are the Benelux Speedrun Gathering. So we're organising bi-monthly gatherings in the Benelux area for speedrunners. Due to the current situation surrounding COVID-19, we're doing our events online for the time being. But this event features streamers from both the Benelux area and the rest of the world, bringing entertainment during lockdown from our own home to yours. Something to also mention is that we want to thank ESA for supporting our event by allowing us to stream on their channel. ESA have their own events, for any information regarding theirs as well as ours, any changes regarding COVID-19, then check out the esamarathon.com website.
Alright. So you just saw me shoot in a bunch of specific spots in this room. That is because enemies that haven't spawned yet, their hitboxes are there. So you can just blow them up before the fight even starts. Which is very nice. There's just one drill enemy at the end that his normal hitbox can't be damaged, so you have to make them charge first and run into a wall. And I took that safety save earlier because this next segment can be a little annoying. Fun fact, this water drop, this mech drop here, is kind of developer intended. It's just set up in a way that you really can't miss it. Alright. Blowing up this. And we're gonna get to see the only cannon in the game that we use. There it is, and there it was. Those are like a thing you learn in the ventilation area. So, now is the elevator segment. Please do take a save, because this area,
It's hard.
it's a time. This is like one of the few challenges the game has for speedrunning. It's a survival segment. The only thing to note is that these frog patterns can be different, and we want them to be as clustered up as possible, so we have to spend the least amount of missiles possible. Other than that, more time for the host to talk about stuff.
Sure thing. So just to remind everyone that we are raising money for Mind. Additionally, there are some incentives currently open for the last few runs of the marathon, including the incentives for the Majora's Mask towards the end of the run. So definitely put your money towards that. Additionally, there are some prizes that you can be put towards with your donations if you meet the requirements, including a Majora's Mask displate and some gift cards varying from 25 euros to 55 euros depending on how much fun you've been, as well as the main prize being the custom controller from Diafino Customs, which is a PS2 controller with a custom action.
Alright, and that is it for the elevator segment. I had reasonable patterns, not the best patterns, but good enough to get me through. Now we're going to be setting up for the small mech, for the final gauntlet segment before the final boss. If I can get the small mech to cooperate. Again, this is a frame perfect trick, but it's basically free. And it saves so much time that even if you spend time for like a minute, it's still worth it getting it in the end. It is an absolutely humongous glitch that just saves so much. Alright, another fight there that we can skip. That little guy is annoying. And, oh. I once got stuck under that block in the corner. It's got water directly under it. So you just take damage and get stuck under there.
That doesn't sound good.
You can only get stuck there in small mech. So be careful when dropping there. Got some very tanky enemies in this gauntlet. The little flail guys. Got some nice and precise dashes there.
Mr. Chainball being annoying. I think for this one it's pretty nice to have small mech because because you can actually avoid getting hit by his ball and chain thing.
Yeah, the cat hitbox is so small that the flail just goes over your head. Also, I had one of those jumpy blade guys that you can only hit while he's in the air. On the right side of that one room, and that's one of those that never happened before kind of moments for me. Usually he's stuck behind the crusher. That was odd.
Okay, this... Ooh. Okay, I saved this room.
Alright, first part of the final boss for me, so I'm gonna have to focus and count. That should be it. So, reason why the boss doesn't do anything is, again, small mech. But you can actually kill it while in small mech, but that would crash the game. Like, the game just closes down. So you really have to be sure to deal exactly enough damage so that you can one-shot him the moment after. It's a fidgety, annoying thing to do. And here we have the final boss. This is actually still a bit of a challenging fight. It's purely being good at the game at this point. And it's being a bit of a pain. Got this move, I actually quite like that move.
Yeah, for the final segment I have a bit of a slower strategy, I guess, but for me it's like the most consistent, I guess.
So there's a glitch you can do at the final boss where you duplicate the mech and the escape, little escape sequence is faster. But it's very precise. You have to kill him while ejecting out of the mech and then not die. But time will be coming up for me pretty soon. We're running the moment I enter the ship. That will be time. We rescued our dog friend. And time will be any moment now, and time.
GG.
GG.
Finish up in a few as well.
Mm-hmm.
The final boss gave me a bit of troubles here as well.
Yeah. Like I said, the final boss is not an easy fight. He's got very similar abilities to what you can do yourself. And his movement patterns can be very weird and annoying.
Yeah, normally if you jump like to the peak of your jump, he will always do like a spinny jump to the other side, which I try to go for so that I know what he's doing. And if I don't know what he's doing, it's a little hard to recover, which is exactly what happened. But it's no big deal. Yeah, I think what was kind of bad for me was the small mech at the very start. I just fumbled like crazy.
Yeah, I had a few moments where it took me like 7 tries. Which is always an annoying thing.
Yeah. Like...
But that would be time for you?
Yeah. Dang, I almost PB'd.
Very good.
If I didn't die there, that would have been a PB. Ah.
Oof. Oof.
It's fine. I'll get that PB another day.
So yeah, thanks for having us race this game yet again. I absolutely adore this game. It is such a brilliantly made game. The art style specifically is something that I find fascinating, how with just purely black and white pixels, they managed to squeeze in this much detail. I love it.
Yeah, and I love it more that you can change the palettes of this game once you do a normal playthrough.
Yeah, there's these optional pickups where you can change the color palettes, so the background and the front pixels get changed differently. It's very nice. But yeah, with that would be my last run and even last appearance on this year's BSG Annual. So thanks for having me with so many things yet again. It's been a wild ride. And thanks to Ash for joining me on this race again.
Thank you as well, Chair, and thank you so much for doing like 90% of the commentary.
I'm in ramble mode.
You're pretty good at that, and that also took a bit off my own shoulders from being nervous.
I'm happy that my neighbors stopped
Oh
drilling.
yeah, they knew. They knew.
Thank you so much both for such an amazing run. Do you want to do any shoutouts or anything like that before we wrap up?
I think I kind of squeezed them in my rambling just now.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah,
Oh,
thanks
yeah,
for
sure.
hanging with us.
No worries. Okay, we're going to head to a short intermission to prep for the next run and run a couple of Twitch ads. So stick tight, and we'll have ourselves a Hollow Knight run.